Which way is it to Thunderstrike Ranch? That way? Okay. There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. We're going to be up here in Vernal, up in the area, and we're going to a brand new property today that I'm excited to show you guys about. Last time we were up here, we went and explored the whole property, Lightning Springs Ranch, which is all up to the north and to the northwest of Skinwalker, up on the mesa and the canyons. And this time we're actually going to be going a little bit further north, right to the base of Blind Frog Ranch. But I wanted to come here. We always come here like it's a tradition to kick things off. It looks like they've moved the guard tower around. So the guard mobile thing with the cameras has moved over now to this side. And they've still got the big stop sign there, and the main gate is clear up there. Really excited to see what they do for the new season of Skinwalker Ranch this year. If I walk any closer than that motion detector guard tower will go off and kick us out of here. We're about to find out. I mean, whatever they discover on the new season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, if you want to get the behind the scenes, you can catch it here on some of the Carl Crusher channel stuff from previous seasons. But most of all, there's going to be a link down in the description box to join the Skinwalker Ranch Insiders Club. So make sure and join that. I have an affiliate link down there. See anything in the sky? You know, everything from the Skywatcher team, all this talk about summoning and psionics. It's going to be really interesting to see if this new season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, if they're going to be doing any of that. Are they going to bring in any remote viewers? Is the Skywatcher team going to come and show up? I decided while we're here at the front gates at Skinwalker Ranch, we might as well get the thermal imager out and see if we can see anything in the sky. Now I know that this is daytime, so you can see how everything is glowing white hot. But the theory is if anything is cloaked, if anything is like hiding in the sky, the triangle area would be like up there. Can you see anything? The birds are not happy with me here. This one is going to be right up in between Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch. So right at the south end of Blind Frog Ranch, now we've got Thunderstrike Ranch, and we're going to have a modular sensor there. So that's going to be awesome. Let's go up there and check out the property. Which way is it to Thunderstrike Ranch? That way? Okay. She told me. I think this is it. Staying in that little cabin right there. That or the teepee. Either one would be really cool. Well, what is your names? Are we friends? Are we going to be bestest friends? Yeah? We got a ball and everything? Oh my goodness. Ready? You're going to make me throw it left-handed. No, I'm going to switch hands so I don't look crazy. Ready? Go get it. Let's go take a look in the teepee. Are you going to be my tour guide this whole trip? Actually, having the dogs makes me feel a lot safer. I like that. Hey, this is cool. Whoa, this is way cool. Look at that. Got a table, got a couple of beds, got a cowskin rug. This is actually pretty nice. That looks super nice. Let's come over here and check out the cabin. And this is all adjacent and attached to the main property. So we'll see if the mupas is going to work or not. Hey, the door's open. Nice. I think I'm good to go in. This is where we're going to be staying. Whoa, this is sick. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. This is way cool. Look at this place. I got perfect views for UFO watching. Look at that. Right up that way is, we're right at the base of Blind Frog Ranch here. This is so cool. No way. No way. This is an awesome spot. Way to go, Donovan. Congratulations. This is really cool. This is like legit to come and stay here. Yeah, this is the bathroom. This is awesome. We got us a shower in here. See the water going. This is cool. We've got a little storage closet. It's probably got the hot water heater and the cleaning supplies in there. It wasn't supposed to open. This is it. This is our little bungalow we're going to be camping out in. Hell yeah. I can say right now, I don't see anything here for Wi-Fi. So we might have to put the MUPAS device up in the main house, if that's possible. But if we can get the MUPAS in here, this would be amazing, because you know what that means is if you guys come to Phenomicon, if you come up here because you want to go explore around Skinwalker Ranch, Blind Frog Ranch, or you actually want to camp up here, you can come and rent this Airbnb and stay in this actual room. And so if we have the MUPAS here and you have an experience, then you could actually journal for the MUPAS here. So you could do the log entries. So I'm going to go ahead and get the MUPAS device. I'm going to go get my luggage, all my gear and equipment, and we'll come and set it up. This is perfect. There's even like a desk right here. I can put all my gear. But this whole ridge line up here, I already can tell that's probably why I'm here. We're going to be walking this ridge line, and we're going to be finding ancient artifacts for Donovan and Thunderstrike Ranch. The MUPAS. Okay, so this is the modular sensor. How cool. It's even got, they've even got stickers on it now. Okay, so we got the modular sensor. And what is this? Dr. Segala has included some extra gizmos this time. What is all this? Okay. So we've got the MUPAS. It's our first night staying in this cabin, you guys, all by ourselves. I have no idea if it's haunted or if anything weird is going to happen. I really wish that on night one I was going to be able to have the MUPAS, but I still don't have. I don't know if there's any Wi-Fi in here. Here's a sign, but I think this is out of date. That's just like the checkout list. I don't think there's any Wi-Fi in the cabin yet, so we might have to go up to the house and set it up. We're going to have to wait for Donovan in order to plug this in. Also, if I plug it in and hook it up, I don't even know where he wants it or wants to install it. So I'll probably put it in the wrong spot. So tonight, we're just going to be going like all solo with the camera. I'm going to get the night vision out. We'll do some CE5 stuff, but it's all cloud cover really bad. Totally overcast. woke up, I could hear something. I can hear that water dripping. But it sounded like something was like scratching, like it was like there was like a scraping noise going across the floor. Just like laying in bed right now. Something went like scraped across the floor. I got tired and laid down for just a minute, and next thing I know, it's like middle of the night and I fell asleep. So now we're ghost hunting, I guess. I don't even have a flashlight in my bed. I just using my cell phone. There's someone in here with me. Can you tap on the wall or scrape on the floor again? There's someone in here with me. Can you tap on the wall or scrape on the floor again? There's someone in here with me. Can you tap on the wall or scrape on the floor again? It is 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a window right above my head. It could have been outside. Something crawled underneath the little cabin. It might have been like a mouse or something, but it was definitely like something being dragged or scraped across the floor. It kind of sounded like underneath the floor, like, I don't know. We got to get the moopah set up in here though, right? Something definitely could have just crawled underneath the little cabin here. Skies are clear. It is going to be a beautiful day today. What a perfect day to go on a field trip, hike up on the ridge and see if we can find some ancient petroglyphs or artifacts for Thunderstrike Ranch here. So, okay, Donovan's hooked up now with us. So this is the teepee. You're gonna deck this whole thing out now?
Yep, gonna deck it out. We kind of got it decorated on the inside and furnished and stuff, and so we're gonna start renting it out too.
That's rad.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was not that easy to set up, actually.
I know. You wonder, like, it couldn't have been easy for indigenous people really doing it, and they were traveling and doing it like, yeah, constantly. You've probably had to do a ton of leveling and
yeah.
These are some big old poles too.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. How many acres did you get up here?
So this house is 20 right here.
Oh, okay.
It takes in this and everything like that. I bought that with my sister.
Oh, cool.
So we partnered up on it. And then back behind there, I bought that land and it's 70.
Holy
so
smokes.
there's 90-ish.
Wow.
80, 90 right here.
Who owns all this ridge up here?
So me and my sister own this ridge until about that. There's a fence on the very top.
Oh, okay.
Right about in the middle, and then there's a different people that live up there. But yeah, there's a little cabin up here. I'll have to show you.
Oh,
What's
nice.
in that? It's kind of scary.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
I might have to come and camp up in there. That would be like a whole thing, right? Have you thrown a ball?
This is the key.
Yeah, I would guess if there's artifacts, there's going to be stuff up on that ridge and
Yeah.
those rocks up
Yeah,
there.
and we own like that whole ridge right there. So
This whole thing?
the whole thing, like all down there, up until you see that big rock sticking up.
Uh-huh.
Very far when it's burned.
Okay.
Right at the base of that is the property line.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now I know where I can go. That's probably what I'm going to be doing all day today.
Sounds good.
Hiking around.
This is a little dirty because the wind last night. That wind was crazy. But
Oh, yeah.
this is kind of what we're working
This
with
is
here.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, furnish this teepee up a little bit, and we're gonna put a couch over in this corner. And
This is sick. So like whole groups could come up here. Like you're just up the road from Blind Frog Ranch and literally on the path of what they call the path of the Skinwalker from between Blind Frog and Skinwalker Ranch is like a whole thing of geology. And you bought a place right on top of it.
yeah,
What the heck?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so this is like a part you can actually rent when people come up here too.
Yeah.
So you could actually do like
Big
big
yeah.
groups.
Yep. So that building there is a bunkhouse. So there's like 10 or 12 beds in there.
No way.
And then this is a mess hall, is what we call it. So it's the meeting area and the main kitchen and everything.
So we could actually do like a whole
Big group,
experience, like
Yeah.
invite people up and do a whole group UFO
Yeah.
thing. That'd be
Maybe
rad, dude.
In the future, I want to do like a dude ranch. You know.
Yeah. Whoa, this is way bigger than I thought.
Yeah. And we got balloons on the ground and stuff because of a birthday party we just had. But, you know.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah. So this is the mess hall.
Like I went over to Norway to Project Hestdalen. They, for decades, the government did UFO research over there at this lake. And they had basically like a meeting hall and a lodge that was basically about this size, maybe a little bit bigger. But then everybody had to go stay like all in these random camps everywhere. It was so crazy. And you have like everything all here
Yeah.
for like a whole group to come up and do it.
Big meeting area. There's like a commercial fridge there, so it stores a whole lot of food. And
That's
then we
crazy.
Should have freaking cleaned up all those balloons, but we got like a commercial stove for a bunch of cooking and a big old sink. So we can do big groups in here.
This is so cool. Here's what I'm thinking. So I did bring the modular sensor up. So we're working with Dr. Jim Segala, and we have the MUPAS device, and I have it, and it has this like extra antenna. We could literally put it in the lodge up here or anywhere that has Wi-Fi, and then it'll just go 24/7. And then
Does it need to be exposed to the sky or just okay?
No, it has infrasound detectors in the little box. It can detect if a meteorite enters the atmosphere, you'll get waves and it'll catch the data.
Interesting.
So like anything, if like everybody has like a group experience or you see a UFO or everybody has a shared dream or something weird or sees a ghost, like you can get on and actually see the data, whether or not it was imaginary or not. But
interesting.
I was just thinking it would be cool to do a whole like a MUPAS event here. Where we had everybody who had a sensor or who was a participant in that study, we could all come and like hang out and have a party.
That'd be super cool.
Have a party.
There's a good place for it here.
This is sick, dude. This is way cool. I had no idea all this was up here. I was thinking it was just going to be like your house in a little cabin, but this whole place is like set up for events.
It's a whole event center, really. So storage area, you know, pantry that we
Yeah.
haven't gotten to clean up yet, and then little bathroom and shower.
No way.
Community
This
bath and
is
shower.
Freaking awesome,
And
dude.
out this door. We're back out here.
I'm completely surprised. I had no idea that
Yeah.
it was going to be like that cool.
It's pretty, yeah, there's a lot of different buildings up here and a lot of potential, I'd say.
Huge potential.
So, when we bought this, she left everything. And so we had to just clean up everything.
Yeah.
And it's been a project. But this is the bunkhouse.
Oh, this isn't even the same building.
No,
No, it's
it's-
just attached.
It's
Wow.
not connected, but my brother, he's a contractor, and I'm going to have him knock a hallway in between the two of these so that they can be connected.
So like this fall, there's going to be probably 300 to 500 people that are trying to come up to Vernal for Phenomicon.
Yeah. That's one of the latest dates we have booked out for that cabin. It's already booked.
Really?
Yeah.
People have already booked it.
They already
For-
booked
oh,
the cabin.
man.
But just the cabin, not
just
any
not
of this
anything
or the
else.
TP or anything like that.
I mean, but people are so desperate to find a place to stay. They get in trouble and they're getting arrested by the reservation cops because they
Oh,
go
no.
try and camp by Bottle Hollow and they don't
Really?
know every year. Every year, people have no idea where to go. So this
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
way
you
cool.
gotta watch yourself.
Yeah, you can't even pull off the road there or they'll bust you.
No, well, and this is down here, this land that borders it,
Yeah.
all the way down, that's all reservation.
No way.
So, yeah.
Down here?
So this whole pivot and this big field right here,
Yeah.
that's all reservation. All those cows are
Oh, wow.
Indian cows. And then on the north side here, all of that is BLM. So there's no private land around here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're surrounded. And so basically, this is all reservation land. And then it goes up to BLM. And then you've got Dwayne Ollinger and Blind Frog going up the canyon.
Yep.
And then to the north of him, my friend Mike owns all the rights to the land, mining rights, mineral rights to go up there too.
Cool.
So literally anything that happens, we could.
Yeah, it's all right in one path.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
Still got a lot of work to do. We're hoping to make it pretty nice.
Well, this was like the whole dream at Mount Wilson, like, because it was there, it was legitimately where like the Skinwalker team, when Bigelow owned it, he owned both of those properties simultaneously. But the huge thing that everybody runs into is for anybody normal like us to go to try and visit Skinwalker Ranch. You can't. It's like all private. If you want to go to Blind Frog Ranch, you can't. You can't even get close. They'll just call the cops on you.
Right.
But you can get right up to the front gates here.
Yeah, you
you're
can
literally
come on.
right in the middle, and you could bring a huge group and camp,
Yeah.
and they can't say shit.
Go explore.
They can't say anything.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
we
excited.
got this little building here that a little more. It's got real windows. The door's a little.
Oh yeah.
weird, but like it's like a actual building.
So you're gonna convert this one all into another cabin.
We're gonna
Oh,
make it
sick.
pretty nice because it's got real windows. It's
The
got
potential in
electricity.
here is really cool.
Yeah. So it's gonna take a little bit of work, but I think we might convert this into another Airbnb cabin.
That would be cool.
I don't know. We got a lot of ideas, not a lot of time. So
Sure. And honestly, this kind of crowd, the UFO like paranormal crowd, are not picky.
yeah.
Too. They will literally rough it because they just want to have the experience and be there.
Yeah. Well, and we gotta. So, see if I have any pictures on my phone, but we can go look at it too. We got a big porch built up in that hill, on that hill, overlooking everything,
Oh,
and we rent that out as a campsite. We had somebody staying up there this weekend,
oh, rad.
so it's pretty cool. Let me see if I have any.
Yeah, this potential is just crazy up here. I can't believe the location you've got, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, we love it. And it's away from like town and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
That's way cool.
So while we were up here exploring, we noticed this box that was buried
What?
in here. And when I went and checked it out, I found a whole set of bones in there.
No way.
And they're covered in blankets.
Well, there's wrapped blankets
It's wrapped in blankets and it has shoes on.
Have you looked in there more?
I have looked in it a little bit, yeah. Tried not to disturb it too much, but
Are you
no,
kidding me?
No, go look at it. We can go over there.
Donovan.
It's freaking creepy, actually.
You've got a body buried in there or something?
Skinwalker.
A skinwalker?
Yeah.
And you didn't put this here?
I didn't put this here. No, we found it.
You know my no faking rule, right?
No, you can tell that that's been there for a minute. So, but yeah, you can go see.
It feels funny. I feel like apprehensive.
It's weird, huh? When I found it and I walked over there and I looked in that box and there was this big old bone in there. I'm like, what the frick is that? And then I start digging around a little bit and found this massive, let's see what it is.
Oh my God, it's like a burial box, man.
And if you go a little bit to the side there, you can see it's not a person.
This is creepy as hell, dude.
Yeah,
This is really creepy, man. I wasn't expecting this on the menu today, bro.
yeah.
It's a dead dog.
You see that skull?
It's a dog.
That's a massive dog skull, though.
That's like a big coyote or something.
Massive, and it's wrapped in a blanket. It's got shoes on its feet.
Why does it have
Like dog shoes on its feet, you know? I don't know if I can find its foot here.
There's the legs down in there. Oh God, dude. It has socks on its feet, like a person.
See all that fur down there right to the side of that too.
That looks like
It's a big old dog.
That's a big old dog. Socks on its feet. That is super random, man.
It is very random, but yeah, we were over here exploring and I went over there and I saw a bone in there. I'm like, we're gonna have to call the freaking police. And there's a person in here.
For real. Like, and for where your property is, like, and how old this little cabin is.
Yeah.
I mean, this sweater doesn't look too old. It looks like 80s,
Yeah.
90s. Somebody may have buried a pet dog or something, but still, why is it wearing like people shoes and socks, man?
It's massive. It's got a big old head.
This is huge. Dude, that is one of the creepiest things I've seen in a long time. What the hell, dude?
So we think it's a skinwalker.
Yeah, that's about as like, why is it in a box with people clothes? Like it's wearing a jacket and socks.
Somebody really, really liked their dog.
I guess. They left it for us now. It's like super creepy though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotta get.
I can't believe that was probably super spooky to find that.
It was. I thought for real we were gonna have to call the police because I thought it was a person.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was wrapped up like that.
That is creepy, man. Yeah, wow, what a find. Yeah, it does look like there's a mattress, but that's like a baby mattress. That's like a
Just a little
like a little crib. But yeah, metal detecting up here would be crazy because if there's a box buried in the floor there, I mean, there could be other stashes and there could be other boxes buried around the property. So metal detecting. And also if there's an old cabin up here, there was probably an outhouse. And if you find the old outhouses metal detecting, you can dig those up.
Oh, really?
And sometimes they're full of like old bottles that are worth hundreds of dollars and stuff, or coins that fell in. Like
Really?
people throw stuff down there all the time that's now worth a lot, but they didn't think it was.
You just have to dig through all the other stuff to get.
There are people that do nothing but look for old outhouse holes,
Really?
yep, and dig them up.
It's gonna be bought by gold miners. So
So some gold miners were up here and they were going to buy it.
Yep, they were gonna buy it, and so they had a contract on it and everything, and then it ended up falling through. But they did a whole bunch of like experiments and like ground penetrating radar and stuff like that, and they said they found shafts running through all of that through there, and then like an entrance to a gold mine that collapsed around the corner here. And so they were doing a whole bunch of experiments up here while they were trying to buy it, and so then they've still been trying to buy it every now and again, but then it never ended up happening, and we came in and bought it.
So you could have actual LiDAR tunnel systems up here?
Yeah, they said that they so this winter I met them up here. They were up here doing experiments, and I had bought that 70 acres in the back.
Yeah.
And so I was up here working, and they came up and were doing some experiments, and they said that a lot of those tunnels run in this ridge and go to that property in the back, which I owned at the time. And so they were still trying to buy this to mine gold out of it. So
wow.
But yeah, so I'll show you kind of the entrance to the mine that they said was here and everything like that. But it'd be cool to get some of that ground penetrating radar.
So I'm actually in a contract and partners with a team called Terra Exploration Group.
Really?
And we did all the ground penetrating radar and LiDAR for the History Channel for like 3-4 years, and a lot for Skinwalker Ranch and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so I just partnered with them, and they've just invented a new portable unit that you can carry in a backpack.
Oh,
and so I'll just have to make a couple phone calls and see if we can get them out here.
That'd be awesome.
Because if we got a group together, like of people that wanted to come up, if we did like an event, then that would be part of it. Like people that came and wanted to stay here, they would be helping fund for the LiDAR scans and all that stuff so that we could get this work done. That's cool.
But yeah, to get some of that ground penetrating radar and stuff and look through here, I want to know if they were actually finding stuff or if they never found anything.
Well, if the guys at Blind Frog Ranch are not lying and they have actually found stuff too, then it's probably all connected.
Yeah, well, they're like a mile or two that way as the crow flies, like not very far.
It's right over the hill.
Right over the hill.
Wow, look at all this.
Yeah, so I'll show you over here first.
This is amazing, Donovan. I had no idea what was going on up here.
Yeah, pretty neat little place.
I was like, cool, he's got a place with a little cabin. We'll go up and see what's there. And then freaking tunnels underground.
Yeah.
LiDAR and buried skinwalker dogs dressed in human clothes and a box in the ground. Like
everything. So the gold hunters were saying that this is like they were thinking it's like a sorting table, so they would put it up and they'd sort the different rocks on it and stuff.
It looks like it.
It's got inscriptions on it I've never seen. Reich and Reich. Whatever that means.
Is that a date? What does that say? Niebuhr?
Something like that, yeah.
Reich and
Niebuhr. It's a W, I think.
Weber. Oh yeah. Grass is still in the way. Weber.
Weber. Yeah, so anyway, we thought this was a sorting table.
Yeah, they could probably dump loads onto the table. And man, this is like a metal detecting paradise up here. Have you done any of that yet? You've only lived here a couple weeks.
We're still trying to get it fixed up, and the lady we bought it from, she left a couple metal detectors in the shop there, so we didn't try to do that. But there's a few little rock paths through here.
Yeah.
And then up in the hill a little bit. This is old farm stuff, you know.
Yeah, a whole lift. Mm-hmm. What is that, a hay lift?
Yeah, a hay lift and old feeder. It's cool to look at.
The type of sandstone you got running up here is really good for petroglyphs, so the chances are high.
Good. This whole ridge is just lined with cliffs. So.
Yeah, it's ideal kind of stone.
And also snakes, so
yes, sir.
watch out.
Rattles. Yeah.
So this right here is what they thought was the mine entrance.
Oh yeah, I can see why. Look at the cable.
And so the lady we bought it from, after they told her it was a mine entrance, she took her backhoe attachment and she started digging on it. That's why it's dug up. But this cable was in the ground, actually. It was running into the ground. Right
So
there.
she's probably is here.
Yeah, and so I think she pulled it out. But it broke it and pulled it out. But it was running into the ground, and they thought that cable ran into the mine shaft and down, and they would use that as a pulley system up. You know?
And that's not any lightweight cable.
Yeah, that's old stuff.
Wow. This place is crazy. Yeah, this totally feels like a
Could be a mine shaft.
yeah, mine entrance. And then even sometimes sifting around through this stuff, there is a spot almost exactly like this on Blind Frog Ranch.
Really?
And I would bet you this next season of the TV show, they're going to get into it. But they dug in a little ways and it was loaded full of Ute beads.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, but this is all mining stuff.
Yeah, it's all mining.
Totally different. This feels like it would be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you got a cable coming out of the ground, that's pretty much a good sign.
And then they kind of abandoned that for a second, and then they brought a submarine drone while I was here over to this well.
Underwater drone.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
So that's the other thing we haven't even mentioned yet. Not only can everybody come up here and camp and stay in the bunkhouse and the lodge and the cabin or the teepee, but it's a beef farm.
Yep.
You can actually get like actual steaks and everything. So you can order it all. Is it still on your Thunderstrike Ranch website?
Lightning Springs.
Lightning Springs. Oh, you got Thunderstrike is this one.
Thunderstrike is this specific property.
This property, and then Lightning Springs is for the beef.
And we're hoping that we got a fridge and stuff we're gonna set up inside that cabin, so that we can offer like beef straight out of there. So
Straight
you can
out.
just buy it straight out of the cabin. So,
You could put like even a little mini vending machine, so it's like
yeah,
swipe a card and get a
that would be
T-bone
awesome. Yeah.
for the grill.
And have a grill out front, and you can go to town on it.
That would be so cool.
They're coming to say hi.
Hi, ladies. Hello.
Oh, freak. That one picked up a limp.
Yeah, it's struggling, hasn't it? A little bit labored on the front left there.
Yeah. That's the thing out here on the range. I mean, it's hard on them. They have to be real
rugged.
hardy cows. They're not babied at all. So that's why I think grass-fed beef's superior to
Give me the sales pitch.
grain-fed. You know, like if you look out there, they're not eating anything not natural. It's all everything that they can forage. So it's about as natural as you can get it. And so we have this here, and then right past this BLM, we run cows on the national forest, the Ashley National Forest. It's about 20,000 acres. And so, I mean, they
As wild and natural as you can
wild
get
as you
your
can
beef.
get, yeah. So there's no additives, nothing like that. All just pure beef, you know.
Yes.
Which is lacking in a lot of things nowadays.
It honestly is. I don't talk about it a lot anymore, but I actually got started on YouTube because I was 400 pounds and I went on a whole weight loss journey. And part of how I accomplished it was doing the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
So eating just meat, like almost strictly just meat. And the cleaner the meat and the better the meat and where you get it is like you're honoring yourself and nature and the cow and everything by respecting yourself in that way. So
for sure.
I think it's awesome.
They're getting some water there.
Yeah, look at that.
Better go get their trough turned on.
Plus, you know you're eating meat that was happy its whole life. You're not eating some hamburger that was like
in a corral.
Its whole life and deprived of its natural.
A lot of those animals in those feedlots, they have to constantly give antibiotics.
Constantly pumping them full of pills and injections
and they
and
give
stuff,
them the hormones in their feed and everything like that. So
just to make up for what they're not getting out in the wild.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So cool. So we'll put the links for all that down in the description for both to come stay up here and also to order some beef online.
Come out, ride horses, and go cowboy with us up there on the
Yeah.
national forest.
Hi.
I think that'd be a really cool thing to do.
That would be fun. Just, yeah, if people could go horseback riding and explore the terrain and
Yeah.
or bring their own horses up.
Right, yeah, that'd be awesome too. Give them a little bit of a cowboy experience.
Hi.
That's honey. This is fancy.
Honey and fancy.
Yep.
So beautiful.
Gorgeous horses.
These are buckskins.
Buckskins.
Yeah.
She's technically a dun.
A dun, yeah.
A buckskin dun, you'd call it. It's just because she's got a stripe down her back, so.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's pretty much no difference.
Hi, honey.
And then this is Hercules.
Oh, yeah, I see.
He's a wild one.
It's got this brown stripe down your back.
I got quite a few videos on my Instagram of that horse throwing me.
This is the one?
This is the
I've
one.
seen those videos. Grade mare, talented, athletic, a little nervy, intermediate to experienced people only. For sale, not on sale.
Yeah.
Hi, Hercules.
I get along with him pretty good.
He's
When he
pretty.
is,
Look at
he's
that
doing
blonde
some
hair.
business.
Look at that blonde hair. You are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're enjoying life up here.
This is beautiful, yeah.
This is Copper. He's not as friendly as the other one.
Yeah. Hi.
He'd be nice to go, huh? About as wild as you can get it.
Yeah, what beautiful country. Look at that view. Wow.
There's right up on that hill, there's a reservoir. So there's a road that goes around here, the BLM road, and there's a reservoir, a BLM reservoir there, and great place to go swimming, just right up there. And this weekend we rode dirt bikes up there and went swimming up there. It was super fun. So there's a lot of stuff to do around here.
That's way cool. How far is it to Steinecker Lake? That's just to the east, right?
Yeah, it's to the east. It's probably 45 minutes. Yeah, you're about 35 to Vernal, and then probably 45 to Steinecker.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Perfect spot for UFO watching. And you can totally see up to Blind Frog almost. It's crazy. So yeah, you could come camp on this.
Right here, before all that rain washed it away, there was a bunch of ashes right here that he had dug up. And so he found chippings of arrowheads right here, and then he found a grindstone and the grind freaking rock, you know.
Oh,
So,
the like the matate stone and the
yes,
pestle.
yes. He found two of those, and then he found arrowhead chippings. One of them was obsidian,
You know, this
which is super cool. He said obsidian.
this actually might be an old mine entrance, or like an old ancient one here.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but
We dug that a little bit, sifting, which is probably what it looks like that, and also that runoff kind of changed.
but there was a bunch of flaking right here.
There was arrowhead flakes, and I can get them and show you, but one of them was obsidian, and he said he doesn't find obsidian arrowheads very often.
Man,
It's hard.
it's
yeah,
you'll never be able to tell with the pottery here.
Every single rock.
Every
is
single
just-
rock looks like pottery here. This is probably one of the most challenging pottery sites, if there is pottery, because everything natural looks like pottery.
Yes, it is.
But the ash here,
Yeah, it's kind of gone now, but we dug up a little bit and sifted through it, and there was a whole bunch of ash.
you can see it. It's like charcoal in there. So at Blind Frog, this is probably going to come out in the new season. there's ash layer like this, and the ash layer is where they find these tiny little Ute beads.
Oh, really?
So I'm just curious,
There's beads in there.
like,
It'd be really cool to sift this whole area.
you really could, yeah.
See what they're in.
This whole hillside here, kind of, you could dig out and look. Boy, I can't see any. It's so hard to tell. There's got to be stuff up here, though.
Yeah, I don't know how he finds arrowheads so
It's crazy.
so easily.
Yeah, this is.
That an arrowhead? Maybe not. It looked like it from a distance.
You're good. This is flaking. Oh, these little cactuses are nasty. That is definitely.
It's not that brittle sandstone. That's a different rock.
Right. That's definitely flaking, though. Yeah, there could definitely be artifacts up here. So there's the whole lay of the land. Here's the ridge. There's the mine shaft and everything. Mm-hmm. Wow. So has anybody done any extensive like looking for artifacts yet?
Nothing. No.
Okay.
My father-in-law, he came up here and he
Found out.
but it was probably half an hour. He
Sure.
just looked around for half an hour and found a couple things. And I'll have to send you like a picture or something of what he found. He found a couple of those grindstones and then some chips and stuff. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Well, there must have been people up here then.
yeah. I think right here for sure there were definitely a campsite or something.
So you were just saying there was a smelter, an old Spanish mine down here?
Yep. So right off the road, probably 10 feet. It's almost on top of the road. In between that saddle there,
Yeah.
through the creek, there's an old Spanish smelter there. So that's where they would go and take the gold and melt it down and refine it, right in that creek, so that they had the water to cool it down. But the history, they say, is because they would feed all their animals in this big meadow here, and then they would mine this ridge for gold,
Right.
and then they would take it down there where there's water, and they would refine it and everything like that. So there's a Spanish smelter right there. So there had to been a lot of Spaniards
Right there.
right here doing all this stuff that they do, you know.
So wait, you're saying that they were mining this whole ridge that we're standing on and then taking it down right there through that gap to smelt it?
Yeah. There's a whole herd
Holy
of elk
crap.
running through over there. I'm just
Right now?
Yeah, they're far. They're over there on the reservation. They just went behind the trees, but
Randy Lewis is one of the old-time prospector. I met him back in the 80s, 90s, and he's a wealth of information. He's agreed to share some with us. But he's also started his own YouTube channel and got some great information on there, so you've got to go to his channel and see some of this stuff. But one of the things we're going to talk about today is the Utah, the Kerry Shanob, which is, I'll let Randy explain it, but he's got a video given the exact GPS coordinates is where he's pinpointed from him talking to the old timers and what's going on. And so with that, Randy, tell us the story and how you came to the conclusions where you got your information, and also how this ties in with Blind Frog Ranch. Any of them people that know about Blind Frog Ranch, take it away.
Well, I used to spend a lot of time up around Paradise up in there and going over all the old stories up there, and that's another story. But anyway, I used to stop in and see old A.C. Wilkerson on my way up there, and I used to stop in and say hi. About every time I went up there, I'd stop in and see old A.C. And right when he was getting in his last years, we used to get serious about things, and the reason he would talk to me is because he knew all the old history about Hassenbrook and stuff, and he knew I was the great-grandson, and so he opened up to me about a lot of things about that area up there because of who I was. But anyway, I went up there talking to him one time, and I says, you know, AC, not too far, but we were up there on his ranch, and there was a place up on the first spring where he used to do a lot of camping up in there in his later years, and that's where I used to find him in his trailer down there by that spring. And anyway, I walked in there one time, and we were talking, and I says, you know, AC, you're not too far from a Spanish mine where we're sitting right now. I says, if you look over to the south there and look up, there's a road that goes up there, and it goes right down into an old Spanish mine right there. And he says, how did you know about that? And I says, well, it's on one of the old maps I have, and I figured you already knew where it was because you've lived here most of your life. And he says, yeah, we've done really well out of that old mine. And I says, yeah, I bet you have. And he says, but in the last years, he says, I was able to do a lot more research and decided that the old Carrie Shanob is not too far from here. And I says, yeah, I figured that about right. I said, I've looked at the old Aaron Daniels map quite a bit and studied it, and I'm thinking if I start talking to you about it, you'll know exactly where I'm at because you've walked it. So most of the time when you know things is because you've walked it and you know every rock on the way there. And I said, if you go up past this spring and go up past the next spring, and then you get to the bottom of that real steep mountain right there, and go straight up that mountain right to the top of the ridge, you'll be on the exact same trail as old Aaron Daniels was taken back when he was taken there by the Indians. And he says, that's exactly right. And I says, well, if you get along the top of that ridge and you start going towards the west there and keep going on the top of that ridge and go all the way to the other side, you'll be walking on the same trail as the old Aaron Daniels was when he was on the back of that horse. And I said, if you look at that, you can see everything on that old map is right there, right where we're walking on the top of that ridge. And he says, yeah, you're exactly right. And I says, you can look from that ridge over to the White Cliffs, and you can see up over into Spring Creek, and you can see where the old cedars were, and you can see where the old gold nuggets used to be, and then you can see down in the bottom where those two ridges run, and then you can see right where the old Carrie Shanob used to be. And I says, that's exactly right, AC. That's the same way I see it. And he says, you're right. That's the where it is. And said, I've never had gone down in there and opened that up because I think it'd be real hard to find, but he says that's exactly where it's at. And so anyway, with that, old AC and I determined that was probably where the Carrie Shanob was, and that if you look at the map and go through all the details, you can see that it matches everything old Aaron Daniels said right to the T. And so anyway, I've got that video on my website, and you can follow the trail and see everything, and you can look at the geology of it, and you can see why it's there. And that I'm thinking if you get down lower towards the Blind Frog Ranch, you can see why they're really excited about that area, because it's right on the outskirts of all that volcanic activity back then, and you'll probably see some of the things that they're seeing and know why it's there. But if you look at the geology and see how the old volcanic went up through there and pushed up the batholiths and all that kind of stuff, you'll see why why they're finding stuff down in Blind Frog Ranch. I'm not too familiar with Blind Frog Ranch. I've never been there, but I know it's real close to where all of the activity is.
Yeah, there's like 30
Wow.
running by.
So you have no idea, have you even tried to look where they were mining here? I mean, other than
No.
that spot right down there?
No, we've only been here for 2 weeks, so like we're still trying to get all the buildings fixed up and everything like that. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's kind of been let go.
That's why you asked me to come up here and run around.
Exactly. The professional artifact finder.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll do my best.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a bunch of history like of gold and stuff. There's multiple, like a bunch of books that I've read written about the Spanish mining gold here, and especially up in the high Uintas where we run cows. And while we've been running cows, we've run into, I mean, all kinds of Spanish markings on trees and big sinkholes and different. We found a man-made cave that they chipped out of the rock, and so maybe we'll have to go show you.
That would be amazing. Yeah, all of that.
You can see them running through the gap right there. There's 3 of them right through the gap of that hill.
I might be looking in the wrong spot.
Up in the wild stuff. To the
Oh,
more. They're running
okay.
North to south. Yeah, they're going. There's a lot of like. That's another thing we're trying to do here is, like hunting around here, like a hunting cabin, a hunting lodge. If you want to come stay and then hunt up here in the Uinta Mountains,
Right.
and then we're gonna get some snowmobiles. So in the winter you can come up here and snowmobile up there and everything like that. And so
Wow, that would be awesome.
just a bunch of potential.
Look how beautiful it is. Look at your horses down there walking out into the meadow. Oh my gosh, this place is magical.
Majestic. But one of the stories she told us is that when she lived here, her son, when they just first moved here, her son was out walking around, I think this area probably right here, because she said it was close to this mine shaft, and he was walking around and he came across a Indian in a full headdress and everything like that, and he was
shaman.
just out here, probably. I don't know what it was. I can't remember if she said it was like a actual person or if it was like a spirit or what, but it freaked him out and he went back.
He saw a full
That's what he said.
dressed Native American out here.
Yeah. Dressed up like that.
Well, the whole reason I went and stopped is the amount of times that I've like run into that exact thing.
Really?
Yeah. When somebody newly possesses a property where there's burials, that's super common.
They run into a shaman.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, spirit garment. That's the Skinwalker, dude.
Huh.
If you have good intentions, then you have a perfectly fine experience. But if you're here for other things, or just to just pillage the land for money and get the gold out of it and leave or whatever, like some big corporation, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah, well, that's not what we're doing. So hopefully he likes us.
Right, exactly. Well, that's amazing. That's wow.
Yeah, so she had a couple of experiences like that where they were just like.
Did he describe what it looked like?
No, and I'm probably not the best one to tell this story because I couldn't really give you a accurate depiction of what the story actually
But
is.
actually, like a full feathered headdress.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like dressed up like, you know, the old days. He wasn't like dressed up in just modern clothes or anything like that.
Like a ghost out here.
Something, yeah. Like either a spirit or I don't know, somebody doing something. So.
Well, I wouldn't imagine it was somebody doing something, you know, unless it was someone from the reservation. It's the only way. But why would they be dressed like that up here in old traditional garb?
Right.
Like, yeah, that's wild. That is all Skinwalker stuff, man.
So we actually own this whole hill right here. There's a T-post set right up there that you can kind of by the road. That's the property line that way, and then it takes it that way.
So all the way up to that hill?
Yeah, ish.
Oh,
so
okay.
These guys here, they own 5 acres that's cut out right here.
Mm.
This hill right here we own. So if you want to explore that,
I can go like under the power lines, basically.
under so pretty much the power line that way is ours.
Okay.
And then the T-post down. So
Okay.
it like cuts out 5 acres. But the people who were gonna buy it to mine gold, this is what they were gonna buy. They were gonna buy this hill. After I had bought this property, they were gonna buy this hill because that's what they were super interested in it. So
Gotcha.
there might be some stuff over that way.
Man, I'm still thinking about the shaman figure.
Yeah.
He was just standing out here by the mine, kind of.
She said by the mine, and I hope I'm giving the accurate depiction of the story because I heard it like third hand, you know.
Sure.
But,
Most of the stories are. But what's crazy is that they end up coming back. Like when I was going up to Mount Wilson in Nevada, we heard rumors about how Bigelow was like sleeping in one of the rooms, and he woke up and the shaman figure was standing by his bed and leaning over, looking him right in the face, and told him to get out. Literally told him to leave the property.
Whoa.
And Bigelow woke up the next day and was all panicked and was telling everybody that he saw the ghost of the shaman, that he was all freaked out, and it told him to leave. And me and Jeff thought that that was just like a story, like urban legend, you know?
Yeah.
But then a guy from the phone company came up to the place and talked to us, and he was there working on the phone lines on the day that it happened.
Really?
And said he was there when Bigelow came out in the morning, was freaking out, and that he was going around telling everybody that he had seen a full-blown, fully dressed Native American standing in the room that told him to leave.
That's crazy.
And then he, within like 6 months, had the place for sale and then sold it to Jeff.
Right here.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
But right here, I mean, yeah, if there's old ruins up here or burials, then it's definitely going to be protected, you know?
Yeah. That's crazy that it happens. The same story happens all over the place.
Yeah, it's the whole legend of the Skinwalker, how they would, a certain person or entity or shaman or whatever would devote his soul to be a guardian of the land.
Wow.
And so they just hang out here forever. However that works. I'm so excited. This is so fun. I hope we find something. The same geology continues up here. But there is some weird stuff. This is really pretty. That rock looks so pretty. It's also just like shaped like a big gun. Like a big Tetris piece or something. And then I was looking at this one too. Look at how that just looks like skin. Isn't that weird? Still no petroglyphs. I haven't spotted any yet. We're just going along this ridgeline looking around. Almost looked like it could have been. Right, some of these little fissures. But no, it will be pretty obvious when we find some. And I kind of keep talking like that because I feel like we're going to. Wow, the smell of the sage up here smells so good. It really smells so good up here. My intuition just told me there's snakes in here, so I'm not going to climb up there. Definitely rattlesnake country right now. One of the things that I love about being a content creator and filming everything that I do is that I realize I miss a lot when I'm out in the field. When I'm hiking around, a lot of times I have to look down at my feet, I'm watching my surroundings, and I miss things. So notice in this clip, my intuition tells me that there's snakes up there, that I'm not supposed to go up there. And so I avoid this area. But then when I get home and I edit this footage later, I'm like, wow, this obviously looks like there was old campfires up here, and the lower part of these rocks is all charred. So obviously there could be something up there. And for some reason, I wasn't meant to find it this time. My intuition was like, there's snakes up there, don't go up there. And it's like almost like I didn't even see what was right in front of my face. But now that I'm home, I look at the footage, I'm editing it, and I'm like, it obviously looks like these rocks are like burned or charred or have some kind of a desert varnish that's interesting. And I need to go back up there and look again. My intuition just told me there's snakes in here, so I'm not going to climb up there. Definitely rattlesnake country right now. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. There's all this like soot and charcoal, right? Campfire ash. A big fire came through. Something. There was definitely a mining operation right here though. Again, with the pump house and the water well, but it's all rigged up like it's to lift and lower stuff into a mine. Like, what the heck, guys? You know, the guys at Blind Frog Ranch right over the hill there have been looking for entrances into the underground and into the tunnel system. What do you call this? What do you call this, guys? This is more obvious of an entrance than at Mount Wilson. If they pulled this giant cable out of the underground right there, this isn't a spot to bury trash. This is a mine portal. Look at that. This probably goes way down underneath this whole mountain. Glass and all kinds of stuff in here. What the heck? Like, I don't know, again, am I standing on top of a shaft that goes down, or does this go into the mountain? What is this? Sage, triple flavor. What is this? That is so cool. Are these cigarettes? Is this a tobacco tin? Sage, triple flavor. Something. Joy flavor. I can't read it. It's too rusty. That's cool. Anybody know what this is? This is definitely a mine entrance here when you start finding this kind of stuff on the ground, right? It's all burnt. Look at this. That's like full of iron. Any one of these spots. You could turn a corner and there's something there. Here we go. Look at all this. This is like a whole cliff wall. We're gonna have to go down here. These rocks always look like faces and stuff to me. Don't they always look like they're shaped like heads and stuff? That's so funny. Look at this big like muskrat den going on in the rocks here. He's got like a whole fortress buried back up in there. He's got poop everywhere too. Come on, petroglyphs. Boy, this is a really promising spot. Anything? That's bat guano. That's from bats sitting there pooping. See that? It's all also very toxic and do not touch, but worth a lot of money actually in fertilizer. Bat guano. Not in that amounts, you gotta have tons of it, like whole caves full, but. Here's another example of where I was looking at the unique, like strange looking alien-like rock formation on the top of the rock. And while I was walking around and filming it in the real time, I didn't even notice that there was obvious divot holes. So you can see them right in the bottom, kind of right center of the boulder face right here. You've got 4 of them. You've got 2 to the lower left and then 2 up to the right. And a lot of people would just say that these are bullet holes, but we know the history is already starting to play out at Thunderstrike Ranch. And we know that the Spanish were up here. We know that the Mormon pioneers came up through here, and there's been a lot of people that have lived up here. And these are really interesting, the shape and the potential caliber. If these are bullet holes in the rock, the potential of metal detecting around the bottom of this and finding some kind of a musket bullet or something that can help us date the time period is very possible. We might find a modern slug that could just be modern cowboys shooting up there, but also sometimes these drill holes were done by indigenous people. They would actually peck these out or drill these out with like a deer antler or a buffalo horn, and they were meant to be like a constellation or a marker. This could have been some kind of a depiction of the Big Dipper or something, but we don't want to jump to conclusions now. The point is, I missed this while I was walking around filming, and now upon editing and reviewing the footage, we're noticing a lot more that we can go back and double check. Wow, the rock looks really cool, but it's not carved. Really take my time and look, slow down. Wow, it's beautiful. Doesn't that kind of look like a face? Sort of does. When I turn and look at it like that, it does not. But on the camera, it kind of looks like a Easter Island head or something, right? I still haven't found any petroglyphs, but I've stopped here because my intuition is just like screaming at me like, there's got to be something here. Or maybe I'm on top, like see how there's these boulders down here below me here? There's like a whole ledge. Kind of surprised I haven't found any petroglyphs yet. But we're just getting started, and I got to pace myself. I don't have to burn my legs out, right? First thing in the first half of the day, right? Take our time. I'm not exactly sure how I found it, but I'm back in the spot Donovan said where they found matate stones and flaking. One thing I'm definitely finding is rattlesnake skin, rattlesnake den. Right back in there. See the skins. So we will have to keep our eyes peeled. Watch where we put our feet down. But so what I would do, if this was like a campsite here, then there's a good chance that there's artifacts and things that have washed down. So exploring how the water flows down the hill right here would be really interesting. See what we find. This kind of stuff all looks like flaking. Tool making right here. Yeah, for sure. So this was some kind of a camp right here. I have to look around just a little bit, see what we can find. Pretty sparse right now. Check it out, I found a little scorpion. See that? He's cool. That's another thing we can do is you can get the black light. You can hike around with a black light and like spot scorpions, because the scorpions will actually glow in the dark. See him? He's cool. We'll leave him alone though. This definitely is. That's tool making right there for sure. So they were for sure up here. That's a good piece right there. It's not an arrowhead, but they were certainly making tools right here. I was just sitting over there, resting my legs, taking a coffee break. And then I wandered over here, set my backpack down on this stone to put my stuff away back into the backpack. And I don't know if this is obsidian. I'm going to freak out. I don't know if it is. This definitely looks flaked. Is it? Is this obsidian? Oh my goodness. It feels very close. This definitely was a like flaked off though and tooled. I gotta take my sunglasses off. I don't know. Could just be like a piece of agate. That's an interesting one though. Something like this. An indicator of a chopped off tree cut down that looks like a marker. Some kind of a post. Possibly. If that could be natural, it could be cut. It's hard to tell. This looks axe cut and it looks very old. Maybe not. Could have just twisted off. If this was axe cut, it was a long, long time ago. But then see, here you got this one that looks chopped, like chopped like an axe cut it. Like hand hewn and cut. And then you turn over here and there's another one right next to it. Chop, 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 right? So something would tell me there could be a mindset right up here somewhere. Or right around here somewhere. If that's a path, it's not much of a path. It's just more like a rainwater washout. Well, I don't know. I'm starting to get rained on though now. Getting rained out. But this is interesting. I think this is worth showing to Donovan. I don't know. Sometimes the early settlers would just cut those trees like that because they were convenient for fence posts or building structures or whatever they needed. This is where it could get interesting here. This cable and where this abandoned mine shaft was, or is. Did you hear that start to spike up? That's not me breathing heavy, that's all the dogs following me around. Look at them all. They're so cool. No, they're awesome. I love them.
There's a lot of them around here.
It's fun. You don't have any dangerous radiation levels coming out of any of these holes or anything, so yeah, you're fine. It's all just normal, normal decay levels.
Yeah, that's super good. If you could find a water leak with me before we get that thing.
You know, I have a thermal camera, might be able to see it actually. Yeah.
It keeps bubbling up at different places now. I don't know where.
Let's see. So we want to check this area for radiation, EMF signals and different stuff, and then also see if there's some kind of a cart path, because we've got this is chopped, that's cut, and these are both right on the path where the old Spaniards used to come up. So who knows? They could just be cut because they were repurposed or they needed to clear them out of the way. But it seems like interesting that right here at the junction they're cut. There's like a path going up. I mean, there could literally be a sinkhole or an entrance or an old mine shaft that's filled in, like right here or even right here. We just need to start looking around. It's kind of hard. You can see my reflection in there. But there's the post, there's the other small post. And as I explore and look around with this thermal imager, I might be able to see a cart path. Here we go. Now we're in a black hot setting, so you can see even better instead of the rainbow. It's almost like night vision, but can you see how clearly you can tell that this is like the dirt road and where it goes? That's the theory. We should be able to see other abandoned ones from a long time ago. So if we see a trail that crosses perpendicular to this road, then we might find an old Spanish minecart path. I didn't see any obvious intersections or any crossing points, but I mean, sometimes the ancient trails are still used to this day and they're just repurposed. So it could possibly be that wherever this dirt road goes up and winds around up on top of the hill, that's where we need to go. So there could be trails that branch off of this road and go off left or right into different mindsets, or we may have just missed it. It's not 100% guaranteed. We're just testing different layers. So that's definitely a main dirt road that's still used. But as far as any like secret trails that might cross this road and go up, I didn't find any of those, at least with the thermal. That does not mean, again, like there wasn't any, or I just haven't found them yet.
It's way old.
You think? Does that look axe cut to you too, though?
Yeah, like it's not like a saw you would expect to be more even.
Yep.
And that has the chunks cut out of it there.
Some old, it looks to me like, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but if there was an old Spanish gold smelter right there, you know.
This would be one of the first.
That's a straight shot, yeah. I mean,
sections of wood that they'd come across.
They come across, this was probably chopped by one of them. And then there's another one, this lower one down here that looks like it was hacked too, but it's hard to tell. When they get that old, if they just twist in the wind, but there's two of them right next to each other.
Yeah, and they're right on the edge of the meadow.
Yeah, it's a straight shot. You said there's a dead.
This one here.
a dead deer here real quick. I want to the whole carcass on the ground. So this would be indication maybe that they could have cut some of these, because straight up this wash might have been a way they were going up. There might be a mindset right up in here somewhere.
You can see this one here.
That was chopped too.
It's even more defined, those axe marks in there.
That's definitely chopped. So this is the Spanish Trail access stuff that they were doing way back then, I would say. But when you see that, how you start looking on them, there could be carvings, notches, or it's just like a clue that maybe something up in here was where they started trying to dig, or they might have had an entrance. Some of these holes, I don't know if you've seen them, some of them are small, like you got to belly crawl through them and then they open wide up.
Yeah, for sure.
And there could just be rocks piled in front of it. Who knows?
Super interesting if you could get that ground penetrating radar.
Yeah.
And see where the holes are.
Well, I need to contact the Terra Exploration guys, and we just plan a trip for them to come up here and scan this whole place.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the guys who did it before, if they actually found something or not, and that's why they ended up not buying it or what. But
did they say where they found anything?
they said it depends on who you ask. One guy was really hush hush,
Yeah.
and the other guy, he just liked to talk. So it's hard to tell who was telling the truth. But he said that most of the tunnels ran this way through this ridge right here.
Parallel. Yeah, so it would go like through the length of it.
Something like that,
Yeah, it's so odd. This one looks chopped too.
Wanted to make sure that they kept open, and they wanted to come over here at some point and check things out.
So they didn't tell you everything.
No, but they wanted to make sure that they kept like there could be something over there, and like we wanna do some things with you. So
It looks just like the washout or game trail or something, and all this is chopped. We'll get the Terra Exploration guys up here and find some entrances.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Because they'll be able to see where the tunnels are going underground, and then where those all line up will converge at a point that we can go dig out and then get inside, and then we'll be in the tunnels.
Yeah.
That would be wild. Can you imagine that day?
That'd be so cool. According to them, I don't know if they ever found a tunnel entrance, because they kind of did the same thing. But according to them, there were tunnels, so we'll see if that's true or not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And there's like old documents that they said they found that said that there was a gold mine on this property. So
There was?
yeah. And they went around and talked to a whole bunch of like old timers and stuff that said that they remember a mine being on this property. So
It's like Goonies out here. Right?
yeah,
It's just
it's
like,
getting dark. We gotta.
yeah, for sure. It's pretty overcast tonight. I'm going to keep checking and see if the sky clears off. Then tonight is the perfect night to do the meditations and try to see if we can see anything. With where we're at, anything is possible. Anything could show up. Shouldn't matter if there's clouds or not, but definitely make it easier to see all the stars. It would be really cool to host the whole event up here. Just to rent out all the beds in the rooms and have a bunch of friends come up. It's all overcast really bad right now. The way the light reflects in the lens of the camera makes it look like there's stuff up in the sky, but there's not. Well, I'm gonna check a few more times. It's 10 p.m. right now. I'm gonna check a couple more times and see if the sky clears up. And if it does, then we're gonna do some night watching. It's just in the middle of baking a potato in the microwave for dinner. And I went outside and looked up, and there is some kind of an object flying overhead. So I'm trying to hurry and grab night vision. flashlight. Bad camera angle, but this is unedited. Here we go. The skies are more clear. I just threw you on the bed. Okay, night vision's ready. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna switch over to night vision. Ready?
There it is. It's still there. Look. There's night vision. I had the wrong setting on. Sorry about that. See that? That's not a satellite. Look how big it is. Okay, I'm going to meditate, see if I can get it to react. Oh, maybe it is a satellite. It's like it was waiting for me. I had this whole ordeal. I went in and got the night vision, came outside, and then tried to use the night vision, and it was just, see, it just went in the clouds. Look. Went behind the clouds. It just did it again. This is my second low battery warning in a row. Just a second ago, it said the SD card was full and the battery was dead, and I know that's not true, and now I have immediately another dead battery. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to stop this clip so I don't lose it. Yeah, so just so that I could film right now, I've gone through 2 camera batteries and had to swap the SD card twice to finally get this camera to work. And whatever it was just like sitting there hovering in the sky. So I ran in and got the camera, and then I had to come out twice to change the battery, and when I finally got it to record, it's like the thing is moving off and goes behind the clouds. Super weird. But I'm right outside of the cabin. We're up here at Thunderstrike Ranch. There's the teepee. We are right on the path of the Skinwalker. God, the Big Dipper feels so close. I feel like I could reach up and just grab it. It's crazy. And there's the North Star. So yeah, right over the mountain right there is Blind Frog Ranch. Two of them moving, see that? One going down and one going up. Which one do I follow? This one's headed towards Blind Frog, so we'll follow this one going north. There's another one. There's so much stuff moving around in the sky up here. It's pretty wild. We need to get some unusual flight characteristics. Another one. As soon as I stop recording, I look up and I spot another moving light in the sky. If it would just make a turn, change directions, or come down, that would be cool. Another one. I can't even take a pause as soon as I stop. And they're all moving at different paces, different speeds, but still I haven't seen anything like change directions or come closer yet, but God, there's just like a lot of stuff floating around. Another one. Two of them, look. Did that one just start moving? What the heck? Whoa. Oh, there's a little cloud there. Like, what is going on? I just laid down on my back. I'm just laying on my back on the porch outside the cabin. And there's like a dozen bats flying around above my head right now. Whoa, big shooting star. I'm having so much fun, you guys. This is amazing. I hope that thing turns. Whoa, big shooting star. Come down. Come down and land. And this one's still going over here. There's so much stuff in the sky. I just laid down on my back on the porch. I'm just watching the stars now. Where'd that one go? Crazy. That shooting star was cool. I'll have to go slow-mo on that one and see if it changes directions or anything. That looks like a satellite. What the heck? Another one? What is going on? Is this like Starlink? I swear they're just like appearing in the sky, right? Like, I don't think I saw that one. Like, I don't think it came from anywhere. What the heck? Okay, I gotta get up. Where'd it go? I swear I didn't even see that one, like, appear over the horizon. It just, like, showed up. And then they just fly straight. Like, it's so hard to tell if they're just satellites or not if they don't turn. See, now where did this one come from? Did I not see that one, or did it just appear? This is crazy. I was like, there's zigzagging everywhere in the sky up here. See, I've been filming for over 3 minutes and I haven't cut the camera. It's like I just look up. Maybe I'm just mistaken because whoa, another shooting star. See what I mean? What is going on? Crazy. So pretty. The night vision lets you see everything. See both of them? One's kind of moving up and the other one across. It's been like this all night. Did the one just stop, or did it disappear? I lost it. My dinner's been sitting in the microwave since like 9:30. It's for like 2 hours now. An hour and a half. Crazy. There's just so much stuff moving around in the sky up here. It's wild. Another one. Wow, that one's big. That one is hauling ass. And it looks big in the sky. Man, this is so crazy. It's like I cannot stop filming. As soon as I stop recording, there's another one that just some weird thing shoots across the sky, or a blip, or two of them crossing paths in the sky, or it's like something appears and then floats away. It's like what the heck? Now compared to that last one, this thing is moving super slow.
So the legend of the Skinwalker is 100% to do with the clash between the indigenous people that actually lived here for thousands of years, and then when the colonizers showed up. And that was from different eras. There was Spaniards that came and enslaved a lot of Native Americans and forced them to work in mines to mine out of gold. And then there was battles and wars, and a lot of the Spaniards were killed, and their bodies and all their armor and clothes and weapons and everything were just thrown in the mines, and then the indigenous people would seal the entrance shut and sometimes even booby trap it with kill traps and things to hide all that stuff. And they didn't care about the gold, they didn't care about the metal or any of that the Spanish were digging out. And so they just chucked all of that in these holes, closed them up, and then went back into their daily life until the Mormon pioneers showed up. And then they had to deal with it in a whole new way. See, there's different game trails that just cut up through here in different spots that are all worth following to see what could be up there. But I want to go to the end of the property and work my way back today. But what happened was, when colonizer groups would show up at different times, they would begin to human traffic and slave trade the indigenous people and the Native Americans. Here specifically, it would have been the Ute tribe. So the Utes and the Northern Paiutes, the Shoshone, a lot of the different clans that were up here, they were suddenly pressured for their resources and stuff. And they turned to different spiritual methods and rituals, like down in Nevada and across Arizona, and then eventually a huge movement that spread into the Lakota. They started doing the ghost dance, which was like this whole time travel ritual that was in conjunction with the Big Dipper, how it rotates around the North Star and the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, and aligning your soul for spiritual protection. Got to keep an eye out for rattlesnakes. But so the Paiute and the Northern Paiute and the Goshen tribes, a lot of them started doing the ghost dance ritual. So you see all these medicine wheels and ritual stone circles. The Navajo, the Dene, a lot of them were abducted. They were kidnapped and they were slave traded, and they were brought up here and sold into the colonizer families as actual slaves. And they were even sold among each other in different clans and different tribes, because the resources and everything suddenly got under extreme pressure when these different people started moving into the valleys and up into the basin. So as all of that was unfolding, the Native American people, the Navajo, the Dene people, started doing rituals also to curse and to protect the land where certain things happened. So like at Skinwalker Ranch, one of the main stories and why the whole legend of the Skinwalker exists there is because there was a Native American woman from the Navajo tribe whose name was Rose, or Rosie. And she was kidnapped from her home down in New Mexico on the borders of Arizona there, where kind of by Lake Powell. And she was abducted. Her entire family was murdered. And she was brought back up here and actually kind of sold into an arranged marriage. And that all happened right where Skinwalker Ranch is. And when that occurred, and when Rose was taken from her family and they were all murdered, the Navajo enacted the Skinwalker curse upon that land because of the slave trading, because of the human trafficking, and that Rose specifically was taken up there. She was married to a white man, and they lived there as a family, like as one of the first families there actually at Skinwalker Ranch. And then I think something happened. Her first husband died. She remarried a man that she actually liked, and then they lived their whole life and moved up the valley, and is somewhere has died or buried in between Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch. Between that path of where all that happened is literally the place where the original legend of the Skinwalker begins. And that was the whole story. It was based around her. In fact, if we went and talked to Randy at his little art museum earlier at the beginning of this video series, And his wife is a curator at the local museum. And I'm pretty sure at the museum they even have whole displays and information about Rose and Rosie that you can go in and look at that and learn about her. But I think it's really fascinating that when those pressures occurred and when the Native American indigenous people started to get captured, human trafficked, slave traded, and murdered and exterminated, they turned to their spiritual rituals. They turned to projecting guardian spirits upon the land, and they turned to their spiritual ceremonies of time travel, going into the future to try and send a message to protect a place or to guard a place or to keep it from getting destroyed. And then fast forward into our time, and you have Thunderstrike Ranch, have a family living up here and people living up here, and they encounter this phenomena like it's real. And they encounter these apparitions like ghosts of these shaman figures and these skinwalker type apparitions and these different things, and it's almost like there's something to that magic that actually stuck. Something about what the indigenous people were doing actually happened and is real, or somehow imprinted their energy upon the land, and our perception of space-time is a misunderstanding, so that when we come to these places, the past and the future become very thin. And when you learn how to become self-aware, you suddenly see what all of that is about and you experience it. But I think it's really fascinating how all of that fits together and overlaps. So basically the whole point is, where there's smoke, there's fire. As we're up here hiking around, even though like colonizers, Spanish Conquistadors coming up and enslaving them is not directly connected to UFOs, it is exactly why there's potent energy here, why there's deep ancient mystery and history that's all overlapped that makes this place like energetically potent. And I think there's spots like this all over the world, but when they're all directly in a line, and then you've got government involvement, like right down at Skinwalker Ranch, you've got deep military, CIA, government involvement. You know, Travis Taylor came out of programs that the DIA and DEA or wherever he came out of, and now you've got Jay Stratton coming out of the Pentagon working there, and then you've got Eric Davis, and these guys are all talking about how they've seen entities coming out of portals, and they've seen UFOs, and they've seen all of this, how it's interrelated. So it's one thing to see it on the TV show and to watch them all talk about it. It's another thing to come up and find a property like this that you can come and stay in the Airbnb yourself and rent the cabin, and you can go around and experience it without any confusion, without wondering if you're being tricked or hoaxed, without being concerned if it's a government setup or psyop. You can come up here by yourself like I am right now. Nobody has a clue where I'm at. And if I find something, or if I see a UFO, or if I experience some sort of paranormal encounter with an indigenous spirit, even if that's just within my own mind or my own dreams or experience, then I know for myself, I don't have to wait for the government to tell me what's going on. I get the personal validation for myself, and I get the opportunity to share that all with you too. I think that's really cool. So if we find Spanish artifacts, that is still a huge clue as to where the energy around all this trauma, generational trauma and magic and spiritual energy is focused, and it's all going to apply. So it's really fascinating to see what we can find. And there's definitely drive-ups going all over through here that we got to start exploring now. Charlie, I think you're a pretty freaking cool dog, you know? Like, we just barely met and you've been following me around all up the mountain, making me feel safe. You're cool. What are you looking at? Whoa, why is there a whole big line of trucks coming up here? That's what he's looking at. There's a whole cart path up here. Here's the rock I was talking about. I don't see any markings on it though. Wow, what a view. Yeah, Blind Frog Ranch is right up there. Wow, we're close. As soon as Roger Colty from Reindigenizing Minds sees this, he's going to be in the comments saying, polygonal floor, that's a polygonal floor. Look how these rocks look placed and fitted together. That could be natural. We've seen lots of weird geology up here, but there could be a ritual medicine wheel or some spot up here on these rocks. Look at how the forest is all burned. At night, this would be so terrifying to hike around in for sure. Walking through all the burned forest. It's like something out of Lord of the Rings up here. I've been seeing snake skins everywhere. There's been rattlesnake skins all over the place up here, but I haven't actually seen a snake out and about yet. Okay. Look how cool this tree is. Sometimes I go on the edge of just being boring in these videos because I realize I find myself watching videos of people just like walking around their own countryside, or I see them walking in the grocery store, and just because of the island that they live on or the country where they're at, it's super fascinating and interesting to see how the world is different in so many different places, or how it's similar. And so to me, it's really cool. This is where these two hills converge together, and then there's this crack that runs down, so really highly likely that there would be stuff right in there. But also, if this is where the rain comes down and there's ever like a little runoff or a creek, and this is like the view to look down, right here is ideal camp spot. Like maybe right here, a flat area, somewhere would be like a camp spot here to overlook who's coming and going up the valley and up that slot. So if we look around, as soon as I started saying that, my intuition just went bonkers. Like, ooh, I got this whole elevated feeling go up through my spine. It feels like my brain is tingling. Like if I was Spider-Man, I would say my spidey senses are tingling. This is how I feel right before I find something. It's almost like a precognition, like a telepathy. Something inside me knows that there's something right here. If I just slow down. Is that an arrowhead? If that's not an arrowhead, that's definitely a flake. Look how it looks like it was just set there. Definitely. Right here and right here. This is tool making, Native American tool making. So this was flakes off of somebody making an arrowhead or a spear for an atlatl. I'm just gonna set this like somewhere a little bit easier to come back and find for Donovan. Yeah, all this, look. This is all tool making. I'll set it all right here. See? Time for a coffee break. We're getting tuckered out. I've been sharing my bag of beef jerky with Charlie, but so far so good. I'm out of water, so all I've got is coffee. I don't know if that's a good idea to give the dog coffee. I'm going to trust that you can get your own water when you're thirsty. We're not too far from the house, actually. Well, we followed this road way up there, clear back around there, all the way up, zigzagged across here, went up on top, came back along that ridge, dropped down here, and we just had lunch right down there. And now we're gonna walk up here on this ridge line and keep looking for artifacts and petroglyphs. I'm still following like these cattle trails, game trails. Look how cool this old juniper is. Big one. That is the prettiest bluebird. Look how pretty that bluebird is. Wow. And I came up here, I was like, this is like such a good lookout spot up here. And I thought maybe I'll sit down here and rest for a second on this rock. And then lo and behold, I'm like, hang on, look it down here. Wait, is this? I keep getting excited and then it ends up not being it. Oh, I swear that looks so much like pottery. So deceptive here. But that's not what I saw earlier. This is what I saw. This is clear tool making. That's 100%. Somebody sat right on that rock. A Native American sat on that stone and made a tool or an arrowhead. And this flaked off right here. That bluebird is still like flying around right here. So yeah, right here in the dirt. I'm gonna just set this little flake up here on the rock. There's all these spots, like they're like little waypoints, like somebody sat down and made a tool or worked on something, and they're all over the place here. But I haven't found any clear like clan markings, pictographs, petroglyphs. But that doesn't mean we're not going to. We might, you know, walk around one corner on a boulder and then boom, there's like a whole panel of it, you know. Okay, this is something here for sure. So here we are, just right down from that platform, and look at the soil here. It's like, I know on camera it kind of just looks gray. Through my polarized sunglasses, it's like blue. This dirt looks like purple when you cut out the UV. And I wonder if this is the same kind of blue stone that Dwayne up at Blind Frog is like smelting, and it's turning out this weird material. Look at this stuff. That's kind of crazy, and it's got like iron in it. Look at all the iron. It's like rusted. This might be like a whole gold vein underneath all this down in here. This geology is super weird. It's all blue dirt. It's completely, the ground all through here looks just, through my sunglasses, looks bright purple. Super weird. That would be worth digging up and like sampling that though, to see the mineral contents right there. There's like patches of it coming out of the ground. Let's just kind of follow it over here and see. Another big patch right there, look. I'm not a geologist, but that's super weird looking. Totally a different color. And it's just like bulging out of the ground. Like there's a heavy mineral deposit right there that has completely discolored the soil. And it's like almost like straight up like clay. Crazy. Let's just follow down this and see what we see. This all feels like tailings from a mine. What the heck? It's just like all flaky on the top though. Something about the geology right here is bonkers. Look at the iron oxide in this. There's some unique geology going on right here. I need to have my friends Mike and Greg come up here and look at all this. Crazy. Feels like walking on a whole mountain full of broken glass. I just want to look over here and then I might turn around and keep following this down. That might be part of it. Well, here's a trail. This is the road that obviously goes up to that spot. Oh, okay, I know where I'm at. Okay. There's a lot of this that I've had a whole private conversation with Donovan, and some of this we're not going to talk about. I've shown you enough right there, but we're not going to go into any more about that. It'll be to be continued, because I just on my own accord right there ran into something. This is the Spanish cart path. This is the mine cart path. The one that Donovan's riding on his dirt bike, where he goes up to that stand. Okay, this part's to be continued. Donovan and I talked about this, and subscribe and stay tuned if you want to know more. I'm going to head back down to the road, but that was really validating that I just did that. All that, I know it just looked like I was finding weird blue dirt and iron oxide, but that whole, just what I did stumbling across that right there, as soon as I realized where I was, that's going to be validating for Donovan, I think, when I tell him what just happened there. I would bet all the beans and the McNuggets that this dirt road that they're still using to this day is the same one that the Spanish Conquistadors were using to go get the gold, to haul the gold. There's the valley, there's the gap, there's the gold smelter right through that gap in the canyons. And I walked a long way, the whole way, not even looking for it, got lost, stumbled the back way up on it, and ran into the same conclusion, and then wound up on this dirt road, and it's pointed straight shot. It's like they're still using the same trail. This is probably the Spanish mine trail right here, and they're still going up it on their four-wheelers. Isn't that wild? So I've been using the thermal imager and all these gadgets, hiking all over trying to look for clues as to where it could be. They're still using it. It's right under your nose the whole time. We're relocating again. Okay, so we're gonna put it in here into this shed. We got to get it closer to the Starlink so we can get it to connect here. This will probably work.
Yeah, I think so. Uploading, yep, it's working now.
We got it. Sick. Okay, plug that USB in the back there.
Alrighty.
And then, now when you get a minute later, or when you want to look at the data, what we'll do is on the back, I don't want to show everybody, but on the back there's actually an identification for this unit.
Gotcha.
So there's like a whole number, and then there will be a login. So when you're ready, just like text me, and we'll get you on the website so you can start logging all the data and doing the journal entries. But
That'd be awesome.
it's going now. It's collecting 5 sigma level scientific data, paranormal phenomena.
It's set up, huh?
You're Ghostbusters
That was pretty
now.
easy, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Plug and go.
Not too bad.
That's amazing. Hello, baby goats. Hey, what are you doing? Donovan's hooking me up with a whole bunch of Lightning Springs Ranch beef from the cows. And man, I couldn't be happier. I'm so stoked to go home with a whole cooler full of beef. That's gonna be amazing. What an awesome trip this has been. Holy smokes. Charlie, I'm gonna miss you. You are so cute. And I think you're a girl. I've been calling you Charlie Boy, but I think you're a girl. Oh, and the goats. This is like a whole little hobby farm. It's come up, and it's like therapy just to hang out and hike and pet the baby goats. Hi! I've had so much fun on this trip. Holy smokes!
Big old ribeyes.
Holy crap!
A couple of them in there.
Donovan,
A
you're
couple of
too
porterhouse
kind.
steaks.
This is so generous of you. I can't believe you're
Oh yeah,
giving me all this
absolutely.
meat.
Absolutely. Then we got a couple roasts in there.
No way.
2 pounds of ground beef. 3 or 4. So
This is amazing.
these are some brats, and they were kinda, they thawed out. So you just
Eat these
use them
first.
whenever you can.
I'm gonna eat one tonight when I get home.
Some broth. So
Dude,
just a mix of everything there.
thank you. So people can actually go on your website and order this online in different bundles and stuff?
Yeah, yep, they can order it online and we ship it straight to, we've shipped everywhere in the United States. So
Really?
right from here everywhere, we shipped all the way to Florida and Maine and all that. So
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, lightningspringsranch.com. We can ship it straight to your house. Shipping's always free, so
No way.
yep.
That's amazing. I'm going to put the links for everything down in the description box below and in my link tree so you can go and get actual Lightning Springs Ranch beef. This is amazing, Donovan. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you.